folks, how are you doing? So day 2 of our group healing, and it's going well as per normal. Lots of releasing going on, lots of insights coming in, lots of clearing, deep clearing. I want to share some insights I had in relation to a comment that came through. I think it was this morning or last night about the group healing and an experience that somebody was having. I was going to comment back in the comment section, but then I thought actually this could be something that's affecting more than one person. And I always think if somebody leaves a comment, then they're going to be willing for me to expand on that in the video content because we're all in a community. So somebody had shared that various things had happened throughout the day. And then by the end of the day, it was like healing had gone out the window. That's it. Healing's gone out the window. And in that moment, I wanted to say, stop right there. I get that there's a situation that's happened. I get that there's a feeling of, right, healing's gone out the window, and I get it, understand it. And I've had it myself in the past. And I also get that other people can have this. So let's take a deep breath and let's unpack this experience, because I think it's one that comes up a lot in life for many different reasons in many different areas of our life. So, and there's a lot of reasons for why these things can happen during healing. I'm going to go through a few in this video. With any healing that we go through, be it an internal upgrade that's just personal to us that only we know about with an itchy nose. I've just had some incense burning and it's got right up my neck. Or it's a therapy session we've just had, or it's a meditation circle we've just come from, or it's whatever, it's a healing session, one-on-one, a group healing. There can be what we call the test that comes in, and it can be quite brutal when it does. It can come in during it, it can come in before it, it can come in just after it, it can come a few days after it, a few weeks after it, a few months after it. It's the test that comes in. And basically it can also happen when you go for your Reiki attunements or your shamanic attunements on your shamanic path. And it comes in to test you, to see where you're at. It's almost like your guide, universe, higher self wants to see where you're at. How much have they learned from this healing? How much have they learned from this therapy session? Where are they at? How do we need to tweak it? How do we need to change it? Because it's quite easy to be in a healing session and everything to be wonderful, but it's when we get out into the world, our reactions in the world says everything about where we're at, what we're still trying to release, what we're still trying to embody. So it can be a test, and they happen every time we have a healing episode. It can come in various different ways. It could be that you've just had a really great meditation circle, group of women got together, there's been incense, there's been, I don't know, crystals, Reiki, laid out on those mats, gorgeous music. You get out and you bump your car, bang. Or you get out of that and you come into contact with a big traffic jam and delays, or you're being detoured around the city and all of that. There can also be as well, it can also be part of the healing. It can, and do you know, this can be all of this or some of it, but it can also be part of the healing, that something in our life has needed to be purged. When we talk about purging, sometimes we can be talking about, you know, shitting and weeing and sicking and sweating and the pain body and anxiety, etc. But purging can also be situations within our life that bring something up. So it could be bringing health up, it could be bringing wealth issues up, it could be bringing the pain body up. It's a flare up. Something within our life flares up to be purged. And if we don't realise that, it can just be another drama. It can be another, I told you so. Look at my life, isn't it shit? Even when I try and find healing, look what happens. Sick of trying. Brings me to my next cause. Can be, on some levels, self-sabotage. Now, I'm not saying that we can cause that event, but sometimes subconsciously we can. Sometimes subconsciously our intentions can flare something up, or we can latch onto something that actually doesn't need to be as big a deal. And this can happen on a first date, this can happen in a healing session, this can happen when you move house, this can happen when you get a promotion at work. It happens when something good's coming into our lives, be it an experience or energy, and it's all tied into how we perceive ourselves, how we've been conditioned to perceive ourselves, and the story of the trauma and the trauma path we're walking. of, you see, I told you. You go on a first date and people will sabotage your first date just to be able to come home and say, I told you no one loves me. Or they'll sabotage a long-term relationship or long-term marriage. They'll sabotage their relationship with loved ones just to be able to say, and this is a true fact, there's loads of examples of it out there, to say, see, I told you. Or there can be a situation in our lives that arises, and yes, it's difficult, but we can take it all out of perspective. We can take it all, we can blow it up out of proportion and make it a bigger thing than it needs to be. Just to say, that's it, healing's out the window, or that's it, no one loves me, or that's it, I told you I'm not good enough. Even when something good happens to me, it goes wrong. And again, take it back a bit, that is part of the purge. That's part of something we're needing to purge. So whenever you're on a healing or whenever you're having an upgrade, be it a personal session with someone, a therapy session, and you have a moment where shit hits the fan, please don't think in that moment, that's it, healing's out the window. Because in that moment, you have just lost control of your own situation. Nobody else has lost control of the situation for you. And it's up to us to keep control, to go, right, okay, I wasn't planning on this, but I must remember that this is part of the purge. I must remember that I'm in a healing cycle, and actually call back your power and ground in that moment. And also go, right, whatever is erupting right now is happening for a reason. It's coming up to show me something. And that may be something really difficult, really painful, but everything happens for a reason. Nothing just happens. So if you've gone through this process or any other healing processes and that's happened, that's some of the reasons why it can happen. Also, taking it into a little bit deeper stuff, sometimes it can be denser energies that don't want you to heal, that don't want you to find yourself, so they'll work through somebody else to piss you off, to bully you. It can be all of these reasons. There could be a dense energy that we're holding that thinks, blimey, she's going to heal, is she? Boom. No, she's not, because I'm going to sabotage her or him in some way, shape or form. For example, right guys, you're on a shamanic healing, no alcohol, no recreational drugs. Ignore her. Go drink. It's only one glass of wine. So something, a frequency will make you drink. It has happened. Where, or they'll, derail you in some way, shape or form, or cause you to have a violent flare up or whatever. So on this path, we've got to be so mindful of what we're saying, because remember, our words are spells, which is why they call it spelling. And when we say, that's it, healing's out the window, you've lost all power in that moment, and you need to call that back in, because every experience we have is part of the healing process. Even in those deepest, darkest shadow moments, it's part of the healing process. So this morning, when I pulled 2 cards for us and placed them on my healing grid where I'm doing the work from, the 2 cards that came out was believe and success. So hold that up there so you can see it. Success and believe. And I had a moment where I went, wow. Because the theme of yesterday's healing, especially in the afternoon, was literally, we were all taken to a place exactly like that. It's what I call the temple in the sky. Keep it simple. And we were all stood in there, and the healing and the light, just like that, was off the scale. In fact, a few of you have had reactions and said that in the afternoon you were like flat out, because there was so much energy coming in at that point, it was untrue. So when I saw the cards this morning, I was like, that is profound on so many levels. And there were so many moments throughout that healing yesterday and today where we've been asked to look higher, look higher, look higher, look higher, the cosmos. That's interesting as well. The message I've just got for this is the world is a lot bigger than us, and we're not just the only ones in it. That there's a thing that we're all trying to purge at the minute of, when we're caught up in our own existence and our own reality, we can feel that we are the only reality. We really can. That our pain, no one feels our pain more than us. No one's feeling as sad as me, as depressed as me, as high vibe as me. And actually what we're being asked, not just with this healing, but with life in general, is to see the bigger picture. That it's not all about us. It's not all about our pain, our healing, our trauma, our story, that there's a bigger picture out there. And one of the things this healing is going to try and get us to a place of being able to see that going forward. You know, how can I make myself successful? How can I embody the energy of success in my life? What is success? To some people, success is having billions of pounds. To some people, success is getting the all clear after having cancer. To some people, success is being able to put a meal on the table tonight. That's right, got an itchy ear now, clearing out the throat chakra. For some people, success is getting to pick their kids up on time from school. So what is your success? No matter how little it is and intimate to you or how big it is. But I'm also feeling as well, reach for the stars. In every moment, reach for the stars. Don't just think, I've got to take getting to school, for example. Wait, just eat, sleep, rave, repeat. In that moment when you get there and you're on time for your child, make it more than just being on time for your child. You know, I live near a school, and on a morning we see mums walking past, and the amount of times you see mums just talking and ignoring kids, or mums on their phones, ignoring the kids, or you'll see people do it when they're taking the dogs for a walk, they'll just be on the phones. And it's about being present in that moment, because once that moment's gone, you will never get it back, unless you could reincarnate. But even if you reincarnate again, you'll never get that moment back, and that's the truth. Because you'll be born into a different body, into a different world, into a different reality, with a whole host of different things to look at. And believe that you can be successful. Believe that you can be happy. Believe that you can be joyful. Believe that you are healing. Even if, I don't know, you've had a knock on the door this morning and your son's been arrested. That's healing. That's healing. That's something purging within the family that needs to come up. Believe that something bigger than yourself exists. Believe that however this healing has presented itself and whatever's come up is the right thing for you in this moment. Even if you've been on the toilet the whole way through, even if you've been in a funk the whole way through. I said funk, not fuck, by the way. Believe that there is more to your life than you think. Believe that there is more to you than you think. Think higher, go higher, aim higher. Now I'm going to pull a card for us all on camera. Oops. Oops. There's a few that's dropped out. Okay, there's a few that's dropped out. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to read that one, which is purification. Again, was a very similar theme to yesterday's channeling. Purification. And we've got light. Embracing your light and embracing the light. We've got peace. And finding inner peace. Playfulness. Communicating with others and bonding with others. And simplicity. Being able to find that peaceful moment in that, whatever that eruption was. Being able to find at least one moment of the day where you can find a peaceful moment. Do you know, often, especially with the Reiki clients, because Reiki is very different to shamanic healing. There's more, you've got to be more present with the shamanic healing, whereas with the Reiki you can lay down. A lot of the clients will say, I love Reiki, and this is what they'll nearly always say, because it gives me an hour to just sit and be. And I always think, or to just switch off and not be mithered or whatever. And I always think, God, really? Has life got to such a point where we need to actually book a session of Reiki to get some peace? Why can we not be bringing that into our life on a daily basis? You know, I get that sometimes it is hard to sit in peace for an hour. Have we got that far away from ourselves that we haven't got that moment to sit in peace and just enjoy some crafting, or just enjoy a book, or just enjoy sitting in peace, or to be able to have a meal in peace? Has life got so far out of control that we've lost that ability? But also as well, that if we can't get that hour's peace or 40 minutes peace, why can we not bring in those 5 minutes of peace throughout the day? Where between sessions, or between patients, or between, I don't know, police calls, if you're a police officer, where you can have that 5 minutes of to yourself? Why has it got to a stage, I know the answer to this, why it's gone go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. I can't just sit and be. I can't just have a day at home. And it could go the other way, where actually we're slobbing all the time and we actually can't find our mojo. There's a lot of interesting things coming up. Surrender to the path of healing. Before I go, thank you for taking part in this group healing, and go watch today's Inspiration Corner and Oracle card, because that's a great one for today and about where you can go forward from today after the healing. So I know there's no dates on them now, but the one that's been published today, go watch it, because it's quite insightful about what we can do to help ourselves going forward. Normal content will resume tomorrow going forward until the next group healing. And hello to all the new subscribers if you are watching this video. And yeah, thanks for watching. Love to all. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.